Earth sickness just will not leave me alone. Our supply chain, though, on Sol 37 is more efficient than ever, and it's time this episode to start building in Dome number 2. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Surviving Mars Green Planet in our Red Winter series. So, as I mentioned, we're on speed 2 or speed 1 at the moment, and so much the better because we have a lot of building to do here. Let's go ahead and first of all build some additional homes. I think I will use a different style of home this time. We'll have our apartments in... Do we want them in that corner, or do we want them facing this general direction? I could eventually have a dome out that way. So I think I'd rather have the apartments there. You need to always think about where a passageway might connect between this dome and future domes. Not that it will always matter, because eventually the domes won't exist anymore and colonists can just walk around. But that's in the distant future. So, we'll get there when we get there. But another thing we have to think about this episode is where to build our medium dome, which as soon as we have dealt with the earth sickness issue we're currently facing, it's saying we're short on food, but that's not going to be true for much longer. We have a trade on the way that's really going to help a lot with that. But let's see what else we can build here. Now, it is going to be worthwhile to build a school pretty soon. I don't want to wait forever to do that, but I want to make sure we have good rare metals production before we go too gung-ho on electronics. So let's see what else we can build here that can just help with how people are feeling about their lives. And we already have a research station, so really all we need is just additional living space for folks, but also an open-air gym could do the trick. Let's throw that down there. A place for people to work out and get some of that stuff taken care of. Now, the R store consumes polymers, and I have lots of polymers at the moment, so let's go ahead and build an art store. We'll put it right there in the center, so it's off of the main area. And then we could have alleys as people walk in. What else can we build in this dome? What I'm probably going to have here is a larger electronics or a larger machine parts factory, but we have to order it. We can't build it just yet. So we're going to have to get the money to order it, or we're going to have to research building it. We do have that ability. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put that at the very top of my research list, because I need that as soon as possible. We'll go ahead and start ordering more colonists to come down, though. And actually, let's go ahead and have Dragon number 1 load up on resources, because if we have some rare metals on Dragon number 1, we'll go to speed 2 here. If we have all those rare metals on Dragon number 1, then that will give us some money, which will help us buy additional things in the future. Now, right now, we don't have these buildings being worked. I've cut them off because I'm trying to stop our colonists from being earthsick. We dealt with this a couple of episodes ago, and then the same problem developed even with more colonists being present, unfortunately. So we've shut down some redundant buildings. And it's always good, in my experience, to have a hydroponic farm and a farm going at once, because you're talking about different yields. This is a much more rapid yield, so it's a way to make sure that you have food in small amounts being produced. Whereas these take longer, but you get larger yields. And also, farms have specific benefits once you've researched other technologies that increase the comfort of all residents in the dome, for instance, which will help reduce earth sickness problems. But for now, it's turning into quite the problem. All right, so it looks like our export is away. It does seem like machine part production is going quite well. I'm really hoping that... Wow, they're really, really low. We have another gamer here, unfortunately. Now, what building can I... Is it the electronics store? Yeah, I think it's the electronics store that would make... God. Oh, wait. Or no, the consumption is in electronics. What about the school? Okay, so it doesn't consume anything, but it does require... So those are both... And of course, the research lab requires a certain amount of electronics. I don't know. Part of me wants to just trust that the colony will run smoothly if I go ahead and just turn everything on and start trying to produce rare metals, start trying to produce electronics. But I don't have an electronics factory planet side yet. We're going to have to wait until this export is complete. And it almost is. Let's get those last 2 rare metals on board. But part of me wants to just bring as many colonists down as possible, as quickly as possible, and just turn everything on and try and let the colony take off. But past experience has taught me to be a little bit more cautious than that. So that's where I'm going to err on the side of caution, as opposed to on the side of being gung-ho and throwing caution to the wind. All right, so we can see that the open-air gym has been built, and no one has visited it yet, but it is available to other people that might want to come by and use it. We're waiting on a bit more concrete. As a matter of fact, I can once again speed this up. I can always have concrete production closer over here too, but for now, I'll just keep going where I am. Actually, you know what? Let's, just for a time here, I've not typically done this, but let's just do a transport route over this direction, because this is where the concrete is mainly needed. That way, this guy will go back and forth, transporting as much concrete as he possibly can. Okay, so those last 2 rare metals are hiding out. You know what? Just go. Get going. We need that money. Plus, we need that landing pad for additional colonists. Sorry. So the new colonists are going to have a while to... They're going to have a good ways to run. Or they might be able to come into this dome and then walk into this one, but I don't think that's how it works in Surviving Mars. They might add that in the future, but for now, colonists that are arriving have to run to the dome where they're planning on living. So that could be a little bit dicey, unless I built another landing pad over here. We do need to think about the medium dome, but I want to take things kind of one step at a time, especially while I don't have the electronics done just yet. Okay, let's go ahead and have you load. And one thing I could definitely do...
Anomaly found.
What have we found? Ooh, that is a technology anomaly. Let's go ahead and look into that. And it looks like we have a rare metals deposit down there as well. That's good to know. That's actually a pretty good one that we're mining right now. So hopefully we will be able to take advantage of that and use it for a good while. The other one's pretty good too. 2 average deposits. Decent amounts of rare metals at each. Just going to try and take it slowly and not get too carried away. All right, so there are 2 visitors inside. I don't see them, but evidently there are 2 visitors inside, or a visitor is on the way. Nice. What you gonna do? Play b-ball? Go on the monkey bars? Monkey bars, okay. Oh no, pull-up bars. From this direction, it looks like monkey bars. I was like, that's kind of for kids, but you know, have fun with it. Pull-up bars, track. So people are getting their workout on, which is great to see. So far, we still have 3 Earth-sick colonists, though. And I need to go ahead and summon more down, especially now that we have places for people to live. So, I mean, I hate it. I really do. But let's go ahead and launch a passenger rocket. We still have enough applicants that meet our criteria of no flaws whatsoever, which I love. Let's go ahead and launch. That split-second pause just now was me realizing that I'm not sure if I saved after the last episode. I always worry about that a little bit in case the game crashes, that I might not be able to go back to the stopping point from between episodes, but game's been pretty stable for a while, so knock on wood. All right, so at night we have a bit of a power shortage issue, but we have so much stored power thanks to our atomic accumulator that it's not really an issue. Now, the atomic accumulator really... It should have gone closer to the other ones. I didn't think about that in terms of its placement in the heating zone. But see, we're okay now. See, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and build. It's time. Let's speed up our terraforming progress a little bit here. We're going to build a second GHG factory right next to the first. And that's going to double the rate at which we are warming up Mars, and then no longer have to deal with cold snaps or have these things in place at all. I mean, we will have to have those in place for the cold patches here, but I think, I don't know, we're going to have to see what happens to the cold patches, because my colony that I started where I terraformed Mars didn't have any cold terrain. It was more of an equatorial colony. Nice. All right, so we got 230 million there. Let's go ahead and do a cargo rocket. Prefab buildings. Okay, we can't quite do 600 million for an electronics factory. But you know what we can do? We can order more electronics. Matter of fact, we can order a bunch more electronics and go ahead and have like a school, and maybe even, what else could we do? We could do the electronics store. Well, that's a little risky, especially with what I was just saying about not having a save point. Do I want to make a decision quite that terrible? And yes, by the way, if you're reading my mind right now and thinking through what I just said, sometimes in a Let's Play, if I make an absolutely atrocious decision because I either forgot about something or didn't know something that really could disastrously affect the course of the Let's Play, I try to judge, because mistakes are cool, you learn from them, but sometimes you just make such a stupid mistake that it ruins it for you, and that's not fun for anybody. So yeah, sometimes I'll go back, but it's very rare. That's why save points are good. Yeah, let's go ahead and launch. Let's bring all those electronics down. Yeah, someone called that save scumming. I would disagree with that. I think save scumming is when anything goes wrong that you just reload rather than learning from your mistakes, which defeats the purpose, which is why there's resentment for that tactic, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about we're doing a Let's Play, we're trying to make it a good story and have fun with it, and sometimes in the course of commentating and playing at the same time, just stupid things happen, and it's good to be able to go back and redo.
There's more to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
Do you see what I see? So not only do we have deep metal extraction, which is good, we can start looking into deep scanning and deep deposits, but we can have CO2 jet propulsion. We can finally have our shuttles moving stuff around. So let's open the research screen. I'm still working on 3D machining. We have a full queue at the moment, but I mean, wow. We now have the ability to research deep water and deep metal. So things are continuing to progress quite nicely. We just need to get to that technology. So it's nice that we have those options. I'll take it. All right, for now, I'm going to leave this current dome as it is until we have 3D machining in place. I could build an electronics factory to increase the... Let's go ahead and do that. Let's build... No, an electronics store, excuse me. Let's build it right there. And if this thing runs, it will ensure the comfort of any gamers, which will help improve the comfort. Of course, we already have 12 passengers that only have 20% more of their journey to speak of. So, I don't know if these uncomfortable colonists are going to have their comfort recover in time. Makes me sad. Tell you what, let me make these both high priority and turn them on at night. Alright, so now we have people working the art store. Ironically, that means people are not working the diner anymore. Alright, the electronics store is also being worked in the morning. I don't think any of these 3 colonists are close enough to having their comfort restored. And I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now. What will it be? I can never stop whenever those words come out of my mouth. Eventually, I'm not even going to say anymore that I can never stop because it's just going to be a meme for the channel. But it tends to happen in different series, so, you know, not everyone is familiar with the joke. But if you get it, once again, you get it. Last episode, I think we had a Doctor Who reference.
New colonists have arrived.
Or was that earlier this episode?
Departing.
I can't remember. Okay, so we have 3 people leaving, which annoys the crap out of me. But another thing we can do is we can look at our filters and think in terms of, okay, if we were to start loosening our standards a little bit. If we were to start, for instance, allowing gluttons, that would mean we could bring down 8 more colonists immediately. They eat double rations, but I think I'm okay with that. Loners lose comfort every day while living in a dome with a population over 30. But right now we don't have domes with populations over 30. But see, if we take that down, the filters only allow 1 more colonist in, so I'm not going to worry about that. Melancholic, now that's pretty good. We get 3 more colonists that match the rest of our criteria if we cut off that filter. And then whiners lose sanity when they're low in comfort. So we need good sources of comfort for our colonists, but I kind of like the idea of turning those off. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's apply those filters. Now we have some new folks to work. We're going to launch. And that kind of doubles up what we've just done, and hopefully they'll arrive before things go too crazy. We should have lots of food being brought to this thing, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and say that I want to have like 50 food at all times on that food depot. Another thing we can do, maybe this episode by the time this second load of colonists arrives. Okay, didn't realize you were ready. So we've got to get rid of some rockets here. Let's see, we'll send you away. Okay, so there's still some food resources on this rocket. That's fine. So this guy's going to bring some additional electronics down. Are you ready to go? You are ready to go. Get going. So it appears our Earth's... Oh, no. Our Earth-sick colonists didn't go anywhere. They literally just left. For a second, I was like, oh, hey, the Earth sickness is gone, guys. No, there's a reason for that. Let's go ahead and turn everything back on. We have people in the area and ready to help maintain this stuff. Okay, now we have more colonists on the way down, so I'm not going to land a resource shipment in the residential area just yet. But I'm hoping that the presence of the electronics store will help smooth things out a bit. Okay, let's go ahead and start planning our next dome, shall we? We have a drone hub that can almost certainly build the dome. Hang on, I'm going to literally use my finger to mark the edge of this. Okay. We could eventually have... Yeah, I'm going to have more... I'll do another drone hub on the far side of this dome. I'm okay with that. I just want... Let's see, we want the visual variant to be on point. We want that exit. If you look down at the bottom... Let's see, I think that's probably good. Do I want to have it like so? Just to make sure it's close enough to that metal deposit, or will it be safe? Let's have it like that. It's a little bit farther away than the other one was. Yeah. All right, saying cold terrain. But there we go. That's our medium dome. It's in line with the first two. It's going to take a lot of resources to build, but I'm okay with that. Also, research-wise, we're over halfway to 3D machining. We really need that, though, because we're starting to run low on machine parts. And that can really cause problems. We don't have a lot of money to speak of at the moment. So we found another rare metals deposit. Where exactly? Oh, nice. And it's a high-grade deposit. That's great to see. So this is a pretty resource-rich area down here. Gonna have to pay close attention to the situation with machine parts, though. I almost want to make this like a high-priority building to ensure that people work it. I'm actually going to, speaking of high priority, let's set this back down to medium priority, and for now we'll turn off the night shift. That might mean that those stop being worked for a bit, but it's okay, we have more colonists coming down. Plenty more. And then they can work some of the jobs in both of these domes. Colonists that have to work in other domes aren't thrilled about it, so we're going to have stuff in this dome that they can do that'll make them happy. This farm should be enough to support both domes. Soil quality is currently at 60%. We need to have that a little bit higher before I have other crops in place, which, yeah, I haven't researched yet. I knew that. All right, Dragon number 1 is gathering exports at the moment. Do I want to have Dragon number 1 gathering exports? I really don't. So let's have you unload that one rare metal. Come on, guys, get that off. Come on. One of you. Thank you. Get that off. I didn't want that on my rocket. Now get out of here. Skedaddle. Okay, so there's still a ton of food on Phoenix number 1. The drones in the area are taking their time moving food along the supply chain, but they're moving it. There's just other stuff to be moved right now, so food is taking a little bit longer. I mean, it's understandable, too, given that we have this giant dome to build. Polymers are almost done, so that's one thing in the supply chain we're not going to worry about anymore. Let's go ahead and bring down these passengers. Don't have any people working that polymer factory at the moment. I'm particularly looking forward to seeing the rare metals extraction increase a little bit. Okay, 3D machining is almost done. If we need machine parts to build the machine parts factory, I'm going to be real annoyed. Because that's sometimes how this can go down. Oh, wow. Check that out. Oh, wow. Okay, good. Look at our production per soul now in both of these resources. 2.7 and 4.6 as a result of the arrival of those new colonists. And our art and electronics store are both being worked in both shifts, despite the fact that they are not high priority anymore. So that's wonderful news. Now, part of me wants to use this thing. Yeah, you're still carrying concrete.
Resources are low.
Yeah, those resources are legitimately low now. Let's take a look at Machine Parts Factory. We could do a night shift in the Machine Parts Factory, or we could also put these guys into high workload in order to ensure that they're producing enough machine parts to keep things going for a bit. That might be the best course of action, just while we are in a bit of a bind. But as soon as I can bring more down, or as soon as I can start producing them, which I might be able to do, we'll see as soon as this research project ends. In how long? All right, it's 85% done. I wish I could see how many points exactly it had to go, but it is what it is. All right, we're going to go ahead and let's let Dragon number 1 export resources. So that could be a means to make money. Phoenix number 1 still unloading food. Again, the supply chain is focused on getting this thing built, so it's perfectly understandable that it would be doing other things. Right now, you are currently... you have some concrete on you, but I would rather you load up on metal, please. Let's go to speed 3. And that should do it. Now you are going to unload over here. Right by our fresh dome. So this thing might be shut off for the time being, but having this thing in place to where we can start bringing in metal from the surface of the planet, again, is vital to the production of machine parts in our other 2 domes. Because we're not going to have the surface metal that we've been digging up for the entire series so far forever. Obviously, that is a non-renewable resource. It's not completely non-renewable because additional meteorites will bring metals down, but it's not nearly as reliable and consistent as the underground metals deposits. And we have 2 right here with over 1,000, over 1,100 metal, in fact, in these 2 deposits combined. And this is a very low grade, that's an average grade. So we'll probably go for that one first. Okay, so the transport arrived. Good. 3D machining is done. Oh, that's what I was waiting for to end this episode. Let's go ahead and get this built. It's under production. Machine parts factory requires no machine parts. Great. That is what I was hoping to see. So let's put it right there. Just requires concrete, metal, and electronics. Let's have them make that a high priority construction project. You can see the drones absolutely going crazy, bringing everything in for it. We have a couple of stacks of concrete here that don't even have a home. We have a concrete deposit out here that we can definitely tap to have concrete for just anything in this area. Wow, more water. That's great. So we've got water up here, water down here. We're doing all right water-wise. Again, I wish we could fill that bottom thing with water, but it is what it is. All right, with this thing being finished, I'll turn on that second work shift. I will turn off the craziness there because I don't think it'll be necessary. And next episode, we're going to see how the machine parts factory does, kind of taking on that additional production load. And seeing if that helps to stabilize at least the machine parts component of our colony. We are at 5.31% in terms of our current temperature. Looks like our water consumption is a little bit high at the moment. So speaking of water needing to be better, oh, hello. That would be why. What's the problem out here? We actually need machine parts, ironically. So we're going to have to bring 2 out at the beginning of the next episode to get these fixed. We're not even producing water at the moment. Glad I spotted that. We also need to get a second large dumping site set up. I'll do that right now. Haven't been paying too close attention. That's my bad. Okay, there's that. And again, we'll give the order in the beginning of the next episode to get these guys back online, because right now we're not producing water. We're relying purely on our stored water, and we certainly don't want to have that be the case when the third dome comes online. Again, we might not even have that thing stay online right away, but still, I mean, look at it. It's big, it's beautiful. We're going to want it to be operational as soon as possible, so we're going to need to ensure that we have our water production to justify that kind of operation. We might have to tap that deposit to go ahead and make that happen, but I don't have an issue with that because it's close by and would be easy to connect to the rest of the system. Thanks for watching this one. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.